President-elect Obama put together this stimulus package, and it has extension of unemployment benefits and actually a deepening and broadening of those benefits. It has tax rebates coming, the middle-class tax cuts that he promised during the campaign, but they're being accelerated and put into rebate form. But it also has two very, very important components: developing jobs by repairing America's infrastructure and helping us create green jobs, the renewable energy economy, both of which are certain to produce jobs. The money that's allocated in this program is significant, far more significant than anybody thought it would be. It's not nearly enough to do either of those jobs completely: rebuilding or revitalizing America's infrastructure or creating a truly viable, world-leading green energy economy. But it's a good start. It's a good start. Infrastructure is crucially important. Infrastructure is not only a job creator and a great boon for American businesses, it's something we need to do. We have a huge infrastructure gap in this country. The American Society of Civil Engineers estimates that it would take $1.6 trillion to just repair and put in good shape the infrastructure we have. Our bridges, our roads, our sewer, our wastewater, and clean water systems, our levees, our locks, our dams, all of the things that our school buildings, our airports, our ports, all of the things that make up infrastructure. So it's an important issue from public safety. You saw what happened in Minnesota with the bridge collapse. You remember what happened in I-95 when we had to shut down the nation's busiest highway for 3 days while repairing one of the bulwarks of one of the bridges on 95. Yesterday in York, a small bridge just totally collapsed. Unfortunately, no one was hurt. So it's clearly a public safety issue. Secondly, it's a quality of life issue. Americans are spending far too much time in traffic, far too much time unable to get from place to place, wasted time. It's also a productivity issue for business. And lastly, it's an economic development issue, because unless we can competitively move goods, goods mobility is one of the keys to economic development. When Governor Schwarzenegger, Mayor Bloomberg, and I did our press conference out in LA, we each had visuals, charts. My chart had the map of China and the map of the United States on it. And it had dots for the 10 largest ports in China and the 10 largest ports in America. And the point I was making by this is that the 10 largest ports in China take 4 times as much throughput, meaning goods coming in, either in containers or by themselves. 4 times as much throughput as the 10 largest American ports. Only 2 of the 10 largest American ports would even make it into the top 10 of Chinese ports. If we don't change, we're going to lose our economic competitiveness. If we don't repair our infrastructure quickly, we're going to lose our economic competitiveness. But it's such a wonderful job-producing enterprise, because number one, you're getting a real substantive benefit. But number two, economists estimate for every $1 billion of infrastructure spending, we produce 43,000 good-paying jobs that can't be outsourced. By their very nature, they have to be done here. So think about what that means if we have a $100 billion infrastructure investment program, or a $1 trillion infrastructure investment program. It's absolutely incredible. For a $1 trillion investment program, we'd have to start training people to do that type of work as fast as we could, because there aren't enough workers around who will be able to do it at this point. Secondly, it's a great program for American business, for steel, for concrete, for asphalt, for timber, for electrical fixtures, for painting, for whatever the business is. So much of it goes into the development, revitalization, repair, and building of new infrastructure. So it's a great stimulant, but it's something that we have to work on even more than just in the short run on the stimulus if we are going to have a competitive nation. How are we going to fund it? Well, we have to find a way to fund it. Infrastructure, transportation infrastructure's always been funded by the gas tax. But this year it had a multiple billion-dollar deficit because people were driving less. And don't be fooled by the dip in the price of gas, as President-elect Obama said on 60 Minutes. That's a little dance that the oil-producing nations do with us. When it gets too high, and we're all talking about renewable energy and energy independence, they drop it down to try to mitigate that talk and try to, make sure that people forget about that stuff. And then when we've sort of lost our momentum, they bring it right back up again. And President-elect Obama is absolutely correct. This is not the time to turn our backs on renewable energy. It's time to move even faster.